What's up, guys? This is Automotive Anonymous, and if you're new to my channel, I do cool stuff like car reviews, 0 to 60s, and other fun stuff. So if you like my video, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing to help it share and help the channel continue to grow. Otherwise, guys, we're gonna get right into the review of this 2023 Subaru Ascent 8-seater Limited. It was generously borrowed by these guys, Twin Falls Subaru. I'll link it below because it's under MSRP. And we're gonna get right into the walk around with the specs, then the initial driving impressions. Stay tuned later on, 0 to 60 with the GPS. And then the final thoughts to decide, is this Ascent or the Ascent Limited 8-seater worth your time and money? These are really cool. The Ascent replaced the Tribeca in 2018. The very base of the 8 trim level starts at $34,000. This Limited starts at $41.5, but it's closer to $47 with all the goodies that it offers. It has heated second row and front row seats. They're leather, power rear gate, the driver focus mitigation system, and a few other goodies with optional package 23. That includes the big panoramic roof, navigation in the 11.6-inch screen, and Harman Kardon speakers, to name a few. You may also notice it has the 4th gen eyesight system with the 3rd camera. So it does a lot of assisting you when you're driving with cruise control on. Those LEDs are really bright on the front. I really like them. It has the 360-degree cameras. You can notice the one in the hood. And then on the side mirrors, very cool for this. The sole powertrain of the Ascent is the 2.4 turbo with 260 horse and 277 torque. I'll show you under the hood in just a little bit. Subaru actually sells 36,000 to 81,000 of these a year. It's a top safety pick plus. And the gas tank that's wrapped around here on the passenger side, it's a 19.3 gallon tank. So you're getting 19 city, 25 highway with these big wheels. That means you get about 450 miles of road trip. And speaking of those wheels, they are a 20-inch wrapped in all-season tires. The Ascent is about 6.5 feet wide, 6 feet tall, and 16.5 feet long. It weighs about 4,500 pounds, or the equivalent of 281 ladies. Lady, by the way, is my dog, as can be seen here. 8.7 inches of ground clearance, 370 final drive ratio, and Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive. You can tow 5,000 pounds, so like I've mentioned in my other Ascent videos, you can tow an Ascent behind an Ascent. You could probably even have 2 passengers in it if you really want. And those 245, 50, 20s really do look good. But let's hop out of this 20-degree cold and into the car. You'll notice proximity key right there, so you can open the car without having the key on you. You can also use the pin code in the back if you don't even have the key with you. On the door panel, you got some really nice features. You got the memory stage, 2-person seats, stitching, nice door cards that look perforated, and pretty big handle holder so you can fit that with the glove. You could even hide some stuff in there, it's so deep. You get all the power options for the windows and the mirrors. Harman Kardon advertise on the speakers. Double bottle holder with some extra snacks. It could almost fit a short stack of a 10-count of graham crackers. Subaru on the door sill plate. It's very small, plastic, and rubberized pedals and mats. Fuse box, options, cubby space, trip reset, and lighting stock. What more could you ask for on the Ascent? I'll give you a few more things. Extendable bolstering, 10-way power option with really good lumbar support, and look how good those seats are. Nothing on the headrest, no embroidery or stamping, but there's that fantastic dual pan moonroof. Let's hop inside, fire it up with the push button start. Leather wrapped wheel looks really good. Horn sounds just fine. We should always have the heated wheel feature turned on. And then for 2023, you get the toggle switch to go through your settings right there in the infotainment. Volume controls, voice controls, cruise controls. You can get out of eyesight cruise control. If you push the cruise button and then hold that, you'll notice it changed in the bottom left corner. Just push that to get back into eyesight cruise control. Not a lot of people know about that feature. And then here's the 11.6-inch screen. It's the same as my Outback Wilderness screen. I do like that you have the physical buttons here, The screen is improved for 2023 and compared to some of the other offerings, and it's pretty good. You do have a 12-volt aux, USB-C, USB, and then your camera view button. 360-degree camera. Very cool. Let's drop it down to drive and show you. You could park just perfectly in 2 parking spaces if you want, like that. Otherwise, the shifter is easy to use. Drop it over to manual mode if you really need to play musical gears with the paddles. Otherwise, it's easy enough just to downshift. It just will stay in that mode only temporarily. Electronic parking brake, 2 bottle holders out of the way, and then a really big center armrest with a lifty tray for your change. Not too bad. Up top, we have controls for opening the sunroof. And if you really don't want to see the sun, if it's too hot, you can close it up. Not too bad. Otherwise, we have a mirror here so you can keep an eye on grandma or the kids, whoever's in the back, and then your sunglasses. Auto dimming mirrors. It works as well on the side mirrors, the compass, home link to open your garage door, and then that's how you would turn off the auto dimming mirror feature, but I don't know why you'd want to. Otherwise, let's turn off the vehicle and let's hop in the second row. On the second row, the door panel should look very familiar if you've seen any of my other Ascent videos. You got the cup holder, which I loved, whether it's a sippy cup for the kids or an adult beverage that's legal to have in this seat. It's up to you. Otherwise, same door cards look really good. Stitching, it's very soft touch, very comfortable. You have a good size holder, and you actually get Harman Kardon advertised on the second door, which is not common. This one does have the sunshade as well, so that just helps even more over the factory tint that you're getting. Nothing on the door sill other than this imprinted Subaru, and then a little bit of grip in case you have to step up here to get in the back or step up here to get up to these roof rails. And then to drop the seat, I'll show you that in just a second, but let's see how we fit inside the Ascent. I have a couple inches in front of my knees at 5'11", 1 map pocket, so I can be a backseat driver, and this is the view I get. It's actually pretty spectacular. I have heated seats, ventilation controls, USB-C, USB. Do I have an armrest with 2 cup holders? Yes, I do. Not incredibly sturdy, but it does a good job. All right, let's hop in the back. There's a few ways you could drop the seats and slide it, but this one does both. It drops it, and then you can push the 40 or the 60 split forward. You have rubberized mats, and then you have that grip right there. So we're gonna hop into the back. Sitting behind myself from where I was in the second row, my knees are touching. I am not at all comfortable. My head, my spiky hair is touching the top too. I don't have anything for an armrest on this side, but you do get some good equipment over here. Bottle holders, a little bit of storage, and some plugins. You do get a nice view anyways from the back, although you might feel claustrophobic. But at least you get a mirror. That's not a mirror, that's a window. I guess you could put up a suction cupped mirror if you want. Otherwise, you get your own speaker. And a little trick we're gonna do, so we're gonna recline the seat. With that reclined, my headroom is better, my knee room is not. I suppose we could have moved this seat up just a couple inches like you saw I had the room for. So be nice to the middle passenger because you might need them. Anyways, we're gonna escape. We're gonna get out of here. I'm gonna drop the seat forward, and then I'm gonna push it out of the way, and I'm gonna jump out of here. And then easy to reverse the process. To the back, there's a few ways to open the hatch. You can do it from inside on the left of the steering wheel. You can do it from the button right here, or you can do it from the button that's underneath the emblem. You also have the pin code. I have a video on how to set that. It's a really cool feature that, again, allows you to get access to the vehicle without having the keys on us. Otherwise, we're just gonna do the one-touch auto lift gate right there. You have about 18 cubic feet of room behind the back seat if the seats are up. If the back row is down, you have 47 cubic feet. And then if the middle row is also down, you have about 86, so it's about 10 more cubic feet than a Forester or an Outback would have. Otherwise, you have lighting right here, just a halogen, 12-volt rubberized backrest, so whatever you put back there. Harman Kardon subwoofer. We don't have the installed sunshade and some of those extra goodies right there. And then under here, you just have a little bit of extra storage before you get to the tools. And then down here is that temporary spare tire, positioned like a full-size truck or SUV would have. Otherwise, you can either lock it or lower it. We're just gonna lower it and come around to the passenger side. Door panel looks identical and very nice. You even have the same sunshade, so neither second row passenger is gonna miss out. Another map pocket, so you can have debating backseat drivers, and then the same setup for adjusting the 40 split seat and moving it forward or hopping in the back. Let's go around to the passenger shotgun seat. And if you're riding shotgun, you get basically the same door panel as the driver, minus some of those extra controls and the memory seat option. Otherwise, you don't have all the same controls for the seats, but you still do get power options. The seats look really good. Our backpack is safe because it's a top safety pick plus. You have a little bit of storage up here similar to the Outback, and then a locking glove box with no plugins or anything. But you do have a little bit of storage in there for more than just your manual. There you go. Let's go around and pop the hood. Under the hood, it's classic Subaru. Everything's well listed and well laid out. Windshield washer reservoir, coolant reservoir, top mount oil filter is a great design. 0W20 full static oil fill, brake fluid reservoir, the battery, positive terminal, negative terminal, and then you get the induction through the grill on this side to get through the intercooler to cool it down and keep the engine running at operating temperatures. And you get some induction through the filter, through all the piping and plumbing, through the turbo to get to that intercooler, and then to the engine. You also have the oil dipstick right there and the alternator right on top. Everything, it's right where you want it to be. It's gonna be easy to work on this car if you ever have to, or you do your own maintenance. Let's drop the hood. Driving this 8-seater limited Ascent, it's pretty fun. Visibility is of course fantastic, like all the other Subaru products I've driven. The D-pillar in the back though, you do lose a little bit of visibility there, but thankfully the side mirrors do a really good job, and having the blind spot monitoring integrated is fantastic as well. The Subaru is all about safety and comfort. The auto-dimming mirrors work really well. That's a feature that I really enjoy on my own Subaru. It's easy to find a comfortable driving position in this, with the telescoping wheel, with the comfortable armrests for every arm riding in this vehicle. The heated seats are great. Subaru doesn't have the best heated seats in the industry, but they're really not bad. They're easy to turn it on and off on this system. And then with the extendable thigh bolstering, you can really find a comfortable position, and then you can set your position with those memory seats. So this is really a pretty cool vehicle. I really like Ascents for what they are. If you're gonna have to get something that fits 7 or 8 people, you might want to consider this. It's a good competitor. I'm not attracted to all the exteriors on these, but I think the Limited, like this one, looks really good. Of course, the Onyx being kind of blacked out, that one looks great too. And then with the 2.4, the power comes on strong and immediate. It has more than enough power for a vehicle this size, especially when it's unloaded from towing or having stuff on the roof, rails. Even if you're just riding with, you know, 800 pounds more of people in the car, I think this vehicle is going to do quite well, where that's only adding, you know, less than 20% more weight to it. Otherwise, everything's where you want it to be. With a mid 30-foot turning circle, it feels pretty nimble, and about a 9.5-foot wheelbase between the axle of the 2 wheels on either side. It really can handle the road quite well. You feel pretty good with the 8.7 inches of ground clearance. And it's not like this vehicle's like overly long in that you lose the capability of its breakover angle and stuff like that. So driving through the country, having to drive around stuff, or if you ever have to not swerve out of the way and just go over like a shredded tire or roadkill or something in the road, you can kind of gauge where you need to slow down and where you can just ride over it and it's not going to touch the underbody and you'll likely be just fine. Wind noise, road noise, not really a problem on this vehicle, even with its size. It does a great job at mitigating all of that stuff. All the adaptive cruise control settings are really nice. It makes driving a little bit less fatiguing. And it gets right up to speed, of course. Going through parking lots and tight spaces, that 360-degree camera you saw is such a cool feature. And otherwise, everything is just where you want it to be. It's just a really good layout in here. It's easy to keep track of where you are in relation to other things and what's going on inside the vehicle. It doesn't feel like you're that far away from where other passengers would sit. Maybe the third row, but how often are you going to have people in the third row? Only you can answer that. Overall though, it's a really good vehicle. I like it a lot, and I think it's a strong competitor in the class. And getting one that has the optional package like this, that has the Harman Kardon speakers, those are really nice. I don't think you necessarily need that feature, you know, unless the stock speakers are going to bother you or things like that, but it is a really good option to have if you can swing it. What I like more than that is the navigation, because if you're out of cell service, you'll still have your way home. So that could be a safety thing technically. And also the ginormous panoramic sunroof. The first half opens, the second half just looks good, and then you have the sunshade, of course. That is a feature that I really like. Overall though, I don't really have any gripes driving it. The brakes work well. It handles pretty darn good for a vehicle of this size. Being a unibody design, you don't really feel like you're experiencing a whole lot of body roll. The seat comfort is great. The bolstering is just mildly aggressive, so most people's body type would fit in just fine without having too much pressure on a landmark that you don't want to experience. Otherwise, guys, we're almost to a private road. We're gonna do our 0 to 60. 0 to 60, we're gonna brake rev. The CVT traction control is turned off. True altitude is almost 4,000 feet, but density altitude's about half of that, so the vehicle is down on power at least 3%. I'll verbalize the true 0 to 60, and then the bottom left of the graph will show you what it did without the foot of rollout. That's the way the magazine rates it. Let's see what it can do. And the true time came in at 8.09 seconds. For whatever reason, that's about a half second slower than the Ascent Premium I just tested. However, the CVT kind of has a mind of its own, and it's not always super consistent. However, that is enough power to haul around a family of 8 safely. Let's get to our final thoughts. Final thoughts of this White Crystal Limited Ascent is it's honestly a really comfortable ride. It looks pretty good in this trim level. I usually am not the biggest fan of chrome, so I do like that the kind of the chrome accents are more of a brushed design. They're not as bright on this model. I think it looks really good, especially with the wheels set up. Knowing that you have all the capacity of a typical Ascent, you're just giving up a little bit of sidewall for those nicer wheels. But when you're driving something like this, you have good visibility, good lighting, lots of power, and you know it's a proven platform. It's going to run for a long time, and these are pretty desirable vehicles. These have been gaining popularity recently, and it's not really any surprise why. It's cool that Subaru gives you 8 trim levels to choose from, so you could find the one that fits your budget and is right for you and your family. So tell me in the comments, what are your thoughts? Would you buy the Ascent? If not, what are you comparing it to? And how is that comparison going? Otherwise, guys, like usual, if you like this video, if you like my style, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing for more stuff. Take care, guys. I'll see you on the next one.